Religion is the opium of the people. At least that is what Karl Marx made us believe. But this video you are about to watch proves otherwise. On the fateful morning of Tuesday, November 1971, John List did the most insane, horrific and heartbreaking thing you can ever think of. He took out his 1912 semi-automatic handgun and his father's caliber revolver rifle and began a murder spree that still breaks people's hearts till date. He shot his 47-year-old wife Eileen in the back of her head, his 84-year-old elderly mother Alma, his 16-year-old daughter Patricia, his 13-year-old younger son Frederick, and his 15 years older son John Frederick. After killing his entire family members, he didn't feel any guilt, nor was he remorseful. Rather, he proceeded to the kitchen and made himself a sandwich and continued to the next phase of his plan. The next chain of events that happened after made this particular story one of the most interesting and intriguing stories you've ever seen. But let's start from the very beginning. John Emil List was born on the 17th of September 1925 in Bay City, Michigan. He grew up in a strict Lutheran household, which is still the name, a strong sense of traditional discipline and duty. The day he graduated from high school, John List was enlisted in the US Army, where he became a laboratory technician during World War II. After the war ended, List enrolled in the University of Michigan, where he earned a bachelor's degree in business administration and a master's degree in accounting. However, he didn't enjoy his civilian life for long, as he was recalled to active duty when America got involved in Korea War in 1950. During this period, he met his future wife, Haley Morris Taylor, at Fort Eustis in Virginia. She was the widow of an officer killed in action and lived nearby with her daughter Brenda. After a year of meeting Elaine, John decided to tie the knot with her and they relocated to California, where he got a better job as an accountant in the finance corps. John's stepdaughter Brenda married in 1960 and moved out. That was when he decided to relocate the remaining family member to Rochester, New York, where he assumed a position with Xerox. Things seems to be going well for the List family. In fact, in 1965, he got a really great job as the vice president and comptroller at a bank in Jersey City, New Jersey. So he relocated again with his wife, children, and his mother to Brisnall, a grand 19-room Victorian mansion in upscale Westfield, New Jersey. John List was living the American dream, but this glamorous lifestyle didn't last. Within a short while, List lost his job following the shuttering of the Jersey City bank where he worked, but he never told his family members and friends that he lost his job. His finances got so bad that List started struggling to make ends meet. However, he kept hiding the truth about his current situation from his family. He kept giving them the impressions that things were good and even maintained his usual routine. At this point, List started living in debts, but when the debts were too much, he started diverting funds from his mother's bank account. As the year progressed, things became really worse. That was when he asked his children to get jobs under the pretense of instilling character and responsibility in them. Surprisingly, List's financial situation was not his only problem. His wife's alcoholism and her long-concealed tertiary syphilis, which she got from her ex-husband and hid it from List for about 2 decades, was really complicating John List's life. His wife, Eileen's health, deteriorated over the years, but her condition remained hidden until 1969, when a thorough examination disclosed her ailment. By then, her untreated syphilis combined with heavy alcohol consumption had transformed her into an unkempt and paranoid recluse who frequently humiliated John List in public. With all these endless challenges and his belief that there is an overwhelming amount of evil in the world, made him carry out the unspeakable action which he described as a way of delivering his family's souls from impending damnation. So after John List killed his family, he went to the bank to close his and his mother's bank account. Thereafter, he placed the lifeless bodies of his wife, children, and mother on sleeping bags in his mansion's ballroom and cleaned the crime scene. He then proceeded to remove his face from all the family photos and listened to a religion radio station for a while. He left behind a haunting 5-page letter which he addressed to his pastor. The letter was discovered in John List's study. In the letter, he confessed to have been witnessing what he believed to be an overwhelming amount of evil in the world. This perceived evil compelled him to take his family's lives and deliver their souls from pending damnation. The murders were not discovered until about a month later, on December 7, 1971. The neighbors noticed that the lights in John Lee's house were always on, both day and night. Thereafter, they started seeing the lights burnt out one by one. That was when they alerted the police. After killing his family, John Lee moved to Denver, where he assumed a new name, Robert Peter Clark, and got a job as an accountant. He fell into a new lifestyle and surrounded himself with new friends. In fact, he went as far as running a carpool for his Lutheran church. It was at this church he met and fell in love with Delos Miller. They were married in 1985 and lived outside of Denver for a few years before relocating to Virginia, where Lee got another accounting job. Remember, his new name is Peter Clark. He was able to live his fake life for about 2 decades. He fooled everybody closest to him, including his new wife. Everything seemed perfect for John as he thought he had evaded justice. But his tiny little secret and the crimes he committed in the past were eventually revealed by a television program. 18 years after John Lee murdered his family, which he believed he had gotten away with, the crime was retold on a new television program titled America's Most Wanted. The episode showed an age progression bust rendered by an artist to show what John Lee would have looked like in 1989. Miraculously, or should I say by a twist of fate, a man who was once neighbors with Lee back in Denver recognized him on the show and immediately called the authorities. In less than 2 weeks, the law enforcement arrested John Lee at a Richmond accounting firm where he was employed. His new wife, Delos Miller, was heartbroken with the revelation that John Lee had murdered his previous family, including his own mother. During his trial, Lee tried to appeal his convictions by claiming that his military service in World War II and the Korean War had left him with post-traumatic stress disorder. He claimed that this impaired his judgment. Additionally, he asserted that the letter he left at the crime scene, essentially serving as his confession, should be considered a confidential communication to his pastor and therefore inadmissible as evidence. However, a federal appeals court ultimately dismissed both of these arguments. In 1990, John Lee was found guilty of the murders of his mother, wife, and 3 children. He was convicted on 5 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences. Lee spent the remainder of his life behind bars until he died in 2008 from complications from pneumonia. What do you think about John Lee's actions? Kindly share your thoughts in the comment below. Thank you.